Welcome to Hoda's Career Info. Our guest, Career-Focused Counselor and Registered Psychotherapist Sonny Wong, will share his vision of the new role of career development practitioners. I'm your host, Hoda Kilani, career and academic coach. Coaching is all about storytelling, helping you to envision and tell your story your way. Hoda's Career Info is about sharing stories of inspiring career people from across the globe. I hope their stories motivate you to envision your career story, discover your road to success, or recast your career path. Let's go.
If we have a strong and healthy career identity during career transitions, we're able to maintain our well-being. My personal goal and my personal challenges is to really make people stop trivializing career issues. Career issues are a mental health issue. If we learn career well-being skills, we learn life skills.
Thank you for joining Hoda's Career Info, your program where guests from across the globe share career tips and personal stories to help you successfully navigate your career. Watch, listen, and learn. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and follow me on social media for more career info. More importantly, make sure you have that very important career conversation with a career professional. Who is Sonny Wong? Sonny is a registered psychotherapist in Toronto, Canada, who practices career-focused positive counselling. With over 25 years of progressive experience as a CBD, he started his career as a community researcher identifying the needs of marginalized displaced workers, served as program developer for matured workers and newcomers, as a resource builder for individuals in the idle trade, and eventually as a career or employment consultant for clients on provincial financial assistance. Sonny's grassroots lived experience has fostered his keen awareness of professional and ethical service delivery practices. During the last 16 years, Sonny has been a psychotherapist working in post-secondary institutions, assisting clients to reconcile their intersectionality identities with their career identity. The passion in his work spans beyond his psychotherapist role. He is a lecturer, a writer, a trainer, and a clinical supervisor for CDPs. Sonny provides care and support to both CDPs and their clients, sharing knowledge and techniques to address the human experience without pathologizing career well-being and mental health issues, particularly associated with work or career stressors. Sonny's commitment is to help individuals identify their strength as flourishing fuel. No problem 24/7 is his premise. Unemployment is not an individual identity. Career counseling is co-constructing a plan for the whole person. Everyone deserves to strive and engage in meaningful activities. In Canada, Sonny's professional contributions have been constantly recognized by numerous national and provincial service awards within the post-secondary education and not-for-profit sectors. Stay with me as Sonny highlights career issues, explains how career issues are a mental health issue, and so much more. It's a pleasure to have you, Sonny Wong, today on Hoda's Career Info. I'm looking forward to an awesome conversation together.
Hoda, I've been following you on LinkedIn, so I'm really glad that we have the opportunity to chat today about career work in Canada and abroad.
Right away, Sonny, I'm going to put you on the spot with the first question I ask every guest. What is the term that best describes your work and how would you define it?
Well, I have to meet my college regulatory requirements. So I always have to identify that I'm a registered psychotherapist. But in my day-to-day work with students and with clients in the community, I actually call myself a career-focused counselor. And the reason I call myself career-focused counselor is that I want to take away the perception that my work is about cover letters, resumes, job searching network. I actually want to start conveying using the terminology career-focused counselor, as in, you know, what are your well-being issues in terms of career? How can we work together to develop a healthy career identity as we move on from different stages of your life so that when a career tragedy hits you, we have the resilience to kind of bounce back. So by calling myself a career focused counselor, I'm conveying to individuals that career development is a process of self-discovery, process of who you are, what you are, how you want to be, not only in the workplace, but in the professional world. Because my point is that there's so much focus on self-esteem issues, but self-esteem issue comes from our everyday work. So our identity as who we are, career identity, is very important in terms of mental health. So that's how I describe myself.
Thank you. And this is perfect. I'm just going to dig a little bit deeper into this
Okay.
and get you to give us a little more information about the meaning of career identity to you.
Okay, so when I first started almost 25 years ago, I was working in nonprofit as a employment consultant or a career advisor or, what they called a case manager. And at that point in time, clients were coming in, foreign trained professionals were coming in, over 45 plus were coming in, and they were coming in for job search support. And there was a group of clients that I was able to really help, guiding them through labor market, resume construction, cover letter. But then there was another group of client, Hoda, that I felt so powerless. And those were the clients who were people that would say to me, Sonny, I used to be this. I was that. So a perfect example would be a foreign trained professional engineer that says, back home, I used to be this. And now in Canada, who am I? And I always thought to myself, no one took away your engineering training. No one took away your education. No one took away your accomplishment. But why are you talking as if someone did take that away? And that's what I mean about career identity. How a sudden career crisis shifts your professional focus. And for some people, you lose all self-concept of your personal accomplishments, your professional accomplishments, your aspirations, your goals. Does it mean to be a professional person, a productive person in society? And that's what I mean by a healthy career identity. We often attach ourselves to an organization. Oh, you work over there? Wow. Or, oh, you have that degree? Wow. But those are externals, they're not internal. So that's what I also mean about career identity. And if we have a strong and healthy career identity during career transitions, we're able to maintain our well-being. We're able to maintain our fuel to overcome certain barriers, regardless if someone took our credentials and say it doesn't matter here in Canada. So that's what I mean. But that's a great question. Thank you for asking me that.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And you know what? I got goosebumps as you said, no one took it away from you. And
No
if
one
we,
did.
if
And
we are, oh, yeah,
sorry, I feel like we're friends and we're just talking at lunchtime and we're talking over each other. But, like I always say to people in career transitions, nobody said no to you. Why are you saying no to yourself? No one says that you're not qualified. Why are you saying you're not qualified? That's a form of identity. Something happens and it shifts your identity focus. So, as a career-focused counselor, I'm helping you refocus back on who you are right now sitting in front of me, and how can we take small steps to move forward.
Beautifully said and described. Thank you, Sonny. Sonny, my next question to you is personal. It's about a personal story that you can share with us, and perhaps, if possible, embed within it a message that you'd like to share by being on this show.
Oh, one of the things I want to say to everyone is that career identity development is folding as we go along. First of all, I did not grow up saying I want to be a career practitioner. I did not grow up to say I want to be a therapist. It just happened through following the clues that was in front of me. Sometime at some certain stage of my career development took a little bit longer. At a certain stage, it took, it was quite obvious. But my personal story is that at some point in time, we all have to upskill. And many people come to our profession saying, tell me all the good jobs that are, tell me all the stable occupations so I don't never have to do it again. Well, we always have to do it again and again and again and again. So my personal story is that when I was about 32, I was working in nonprofit, loving my work until I couldn't do it anymore. And the reason I couldn't do it anymore was that I realized I wasn't burning out. I just didn't have the skills to help the clients that are coming in, the new kinds of clients with the new kinds of struggle. And so I went back to school for my counseling psych degree. And throughout that time, I'm just discovering my own career identity. What does it mean to be a psychotherapist practicing career work? And my personal little bit of a story and message is that when we talk about career counseling, I think it's important to really define what it really is. And for me, I've defined it as I am a practitioner and mental health professional who uses career development theory with an approved psychotherapy modality to treat clients and help them adjust to change and facilitating change within their career domain. And in hopes that the skills that I help them with will bleed over into other well-being domains of their lives.
Very well said, and thank you. And do you mind repeating the message for the audience so that everybody gets it? Because I love it.
Well, in short, my personal story, my message is that as a career practitioner who is trained in psychotherapy, I use career development theory with an approved psychotherapy modalities to help clients learn the skills to flourish in their career well-being domain in hopes that those skills will have an effect on other domains of their lives.
And so very important. So appreciate you repeating the message, Sonny. It really reflects the services that you do provide.
Mm-hmm.
Building on that, and from your perspective as a registered psychotherapist, because not every career coach is a psychotherapist, how can career counselors and career coaches best support their clients?
Okay, I think it's important. Like psychotherapy is also a relatively new baby profession. And people kind of go, what is psychotherapy? Right? So let me just take a moment to define that. Psychotherapist works with individuals who are experiencing cognitive, emotional, and behavioral disturbances, something that bothers them, makes them discomfort during a particular life stage. So as a psychotherapist, we explore what are the presenting issues? What are the factors that's leading you to feel unhappy, dissatisfied, disturbed, right? And we kind of address where the disturbances are, like where their discomfort is. Is it in their way of thinking? So, am I too old? No one's going to hire me, right? That's a way of thinking for, a psychotherapist practicing career. My emotions, I don't feel I'm good enough because my regulatory body tells me I'm not in engineering anymore. That's an emotion that they're feeling, right? And with their cognitive and their emotional, it interplays with their behavior. So either they give up, they procrastinate on job search, or they feel engage in some kind of unhealthy coping mechanism. Now, when we talk about what career counselors and career coaches can do, well, they're definitely not psychotherapists, but career counselors and coaches can learn what are the actual presenting issues that's impacting a client's job search. Through my experiences, I've seen a lot of CDPs, career development practitioner, who are very skillful at job search methodology and working with the client to strategize, how they could best enter the hidden job market and be successful that way. But those are more educational and instructional type of interventions, right? You're teaching them something about something external to them. But sometimes clients know that already. They just cannot do it. And that's about change management. So, how can counselors and coaches understand what are the barriers to implementing small changes to help the client become more successful in their job search? So, for example, I always say this, Hoda, if you came to me and we were like best friends and we're having a coffee chat and having a lunch, and Hoda, you says to me, like, Sonny, I'm going to leave my spouse or I'm going to leave my partner, or my partner left me and my spouse left me. As a good friend, I am not going to say to you, well, let's get you on eHarmony. Let's sign you up on speed dating. Let's go out to this social event so that you can find a new mate. But there are some career practitioners who would do that. Let's get you on a LinkedIn. Let's get your resume done. Let's talk about what you want in a job. So, what I would like to see career counselors and career coaches do is help them overcome the grief that has happened. Help them understand that this is a transition, not a new status, right? Just because you're unemployed doesn't, it's not like I'm a woman, I'm a man. It's not a constant, it's a transition. So that's what I hope that career counselors and career coaches would do is learn that there are presenting issues like isolation, like hopelessness, like grief, like trauma of the job loss, and to work with clients on those issues before moving into the job search educational training skills development approach.
Good advice and perfect. If we are to build on this, what would a career counseling or a career coaching session look like based on the advice you just provided?
That depends on the approach that the counselor and the coaches are trained in. I always say this as a coach and a counselor, do you prefer to stop bad things from happening, or do you prefer to grow good things? So I'll give you an example. If you come in unemployed, am I going to be talking about how you're feeling and how you're sad about it and how that you sent out 100 resumes and no one's going to be calling you? Or would I, and that's stopping bad things because I'm helping you correct those behavior, or would I be helping you grow good things? Like, you know, what have you been doing that's been making you happy? You know, who have you identified that are your support system during this difficult time? So I'll be asking more positive solution focus questions and exploring the presenting issues rather than asking you about the negative corrective behaviors that we need to fix. So one kind of lifts up and grows what you're doing well during this tough time. And the other one is allowing you to explore the problems and seeing if we have a solution together. So that's how I look at it. I prefer growing good things because I am a more solution focused therapist. Um, many, many years ago, when I first started, I was more of a CDP therapist, and it was talking about automatic thoughts. Like when this happens, what are your automatic thoughts? You know, I apply for a job. I am too old. What's your automatic thoughts that you didn't get it because you're too old? Well, is there another way to look at it, right? So that's my answer to your question.
I love the fresh perspective you bring onto this is focusing on the positive side of things.
And it's not just about focusing on the positive thing, it's allowing the client to tell you what is positive right now in a tough time so that they go from hopeless to hopeful, right? And us, when I hear the positivity, I have to build an action plan on the positive. One example is, a client saying, I'm not good at networking. A traditional way would be teaching the client how best to network, right? But a positive approach, growing good thing is, okay, if you're not comfortable networking, if you're not good at it, what is something that you're good at that we could use to help you overcome this? So they might say, I'm better networking via emailing or via LinkedIn because I have the skills to dig up, who's who. I just don't want to go and meet them. So we start with where they're comfortable to build their tolerance for the discomfort.
So you're saying let's just focus on the not just the positive, but what they can do today or what is bringing them happiness today.
That's a strength that they feel really comfortable, that they feel that they can manage, right?
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Growing good things, grow a little thing, we grow it and make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Sunny, as you shared this, I did sense some stepping out of the comfort zone. It's like, let's start with the emails and then move on to next thing. And one of the things that I share with my young clients is that they need to constantly be embracing opportunities to step out of their comfort zone and take on new challenges. Just to give the audience some examples of taking on new challenges, what are a challenge or two that you're looking to take on today or in the near future that you can share with us?
As you know, Hoda, I've been doing a lot of public speaking in different conferences and different events. My personal goal and my personal challenges is to really make people stop trivializing career issues. What does that mean? Oh, you just graduated from university, can't find a job. Don't worry, you'll get over it, right? Keep sending out the resume. That's really trivializing career issues because the young person graduated and has all these high hopes. How can we maintain that high hope? How can we feel that energy so that they're not hopeless, right? That's trivializing career issues also could be like, oh, you know what, we'll open up all these centers and hire people to do cover letter resumes, LinkedIn, and all that stuff. Well, yes, that is really, really helpful. But like I said, if someone's suffered a job loss, there is a grieving process. So should we have counselors working with grief too? Working with that. We have marriage counselors, we have family counselors, we have addiction counselors. They're not trivialized, but our work as career counselors seems to be the only successful outcome is the job, not about the well-being of the individual, not about the identity of the individuals, right? So that's my challenge is to convey a new sense that career issues are a mental health issue. We spend a lot of our waking moments in careers or in jobs that impact our well-being. And many ways of coping with dissatisfied careers, satisfying careers, but how can we as a group of individuals really learn to understand that the clients need more than job search training, needs more than job development. So that's why I'm doing all kinds of public speaking this year because I want to convey that information that career issue is a mental health issue, a well-being issue, and career practitioners are mental health practitioners, and that we contribute through our work with clients building healthy societies through building healthy career identities. So that's my challenge. It's big, and I'm kind of tired of all the talks that we're doing, but I want to start talking now. I think I've reached a stage in my career now that I feel I have some knowledge and some contribution that I could actually share with supporting evidence.
I am very excited by this mission that you've taken on and the vision of it. It's not something that companies appreciate. They let employee go and it's just job search package, very rarely a grievance
Yeah,
package.
right? Or, thank you for your service, right? Like, I don't know why it's such a hard connection. We will sympathize with a 25-year-old marriage breakup, and we could see that that is a mental health issue. But we cannot see an individual who spent 25 years in the same organization, giving the best year, advancing in that company, and saying, see you later, as, oh, you'll find another job. Like, look what's happening with the Bay, right? Like, the Bay has been in Canada for many, many years, and they're closing, and people are losing their jobs. On the news, you hear more about, oh, how sad it is that we're losing the Bay, but not how sad it is that people have lost their jobs. 80,000 no, 8,000 people are losing their job. Like, where do you go? Like, where do those people go? Like, it's certainly not like we didn't have, there's no Simpsons to go to, there's no Eatons to go to, there's no Norsoms to go to. Like, where do they go? And it's kind of like, oh, here's your package. Don't worry, you'll get over it. Well, some of them are newcomers, that's their first job. Some of them have been working there since, your university years. Like, but yet, that's not a mental health issue. Oh, they got EI, they get that. But where's the person in the job loss, right? So that's my challenge. That's really, really my challenge. And I find it very tiresome that I say that, and sometimes I feel very alone until I meet someone like you who actually gets me, right?
You're doing great work. It's very important that you continue doing what you're doing and then in talking about it. So I'll definitely be looking for your speeches and
Mhm.
conferences and
But
your message.
But Hoda, at the same time, like, as career development practitioners, we need to move with the times. Like, if we are starting to understand that career identity loss or career identity shift impacts mental health, we as an occupation will need to have more courses on how to do counseling, right? On how to deal with career identity and how to deal with well-being issues, right? Many of the programs that we are at, we're still at the concrete skills development, right? Resume, cover letters, and job search, and it's kind of like good, but we still need more. We need more funding for counselors in those organizations too, right?
Absolutely. And I see it in the school. I mean, coming to it from an education perspective, the talk about career usually involves, like you're saying, resume writing and cover letters, but it doesn't go beyond that, in that it is a whole person experience. And
Yeah.
that's really your life for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Because the outcome is to get that other job, right? There's nothing in between. Like there's no other measurable outcome in between, right? But yet there's measurable outcomes to addiction counseling when they kind of relapse, they kind of go back. There's outcomes in between marriage counseling and family counseling. But in our work, the only outcome is job, right? And that's kind of sad because it's a very reductionist way of thinking. If we learn career well-being skills, we learn life skills, right? It's just that simple. They're so intertwined together.
Very, very well put. I totally agree
Mhm.
with you. These are all the questions that I had prepared for you, Sunny. I give
Okay.
you one more opportunity to add any thoughts that you would like to add, or perhaps topics that you hoped I would ask you about, but I didn't, to wrap up the episode.
Hmm. So hold on. You know what? There's always these situations that I'm in that really makes me think about who am I as a professional? Who am I as a career development practitioner? And do you want to hear what that is? So
Absolutely.
I'll go to a party, for example, or a social gathering, and people go, Sonny, what do you do for work, right? And I said, I'm a career counselor, I'm a career practitioner. And they look at me funny, right? This was before I got my registered psychotherapy license, right? They look at me funny. And I say, Hoda, I said, I work with clients and I help them get through their career transition. Oh, you mean you get them a job? I said, well, not really. And I said, sometimes it's more about skills identification, sometimes it's about understanding their temperament, sometimes it's about understanding what their strengths are. So you're kind of like a coach. And I said, well, not really. She goes, but you do resumes. And I said, yeah, sometimes. So are you like HR recruitment? And I kind of go, you know what? Like in my brain, I think, no, I'm none of that. Like I'm none of that. I'm a career development practitioner. I work with people. Oh, you know what? I could do that. So there's a lot of people in the public that says they could do our jobs, right? They think that our jobs is just about blah, 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 having a motivational chat. They think about our job is editing a resume. They think that our job is about, you know, job search strategy and best way to network, right? And moving ahead. And I just think to myself, this one quote. Are you ready for this one quote? Just because I make it easy doesn't mean that you could do it. But more importantly, just because you take a good selfie, it doesn't mean that you're a supermodel. So I don't understand why there is this social perception that our work is part of HR, our work is part of like coaching, our work is, yeah, maybe we are all of that, but we're very specific with specific skills. And our specific skill is the application of career developmental theories with a therapeutic modality to increase the individual's career well-being. And that's what makes us supermodels, not selfie takers. How's that?
A very valuable message and for our field that I'd like you to go on and speak about, Sonny, as well, because definitely I think most of us go through that.
And it's very strange, Hoda, because when I actually became a licensed psychotherapist, people started treating me differently. I've been saying the same thing all along. It just suddenly, now that I'm called a psychotherapist, there seems to be more legitimacy to it. So, what I think is important, and that's one of my challenges, is that career development practitioners forget about what we call ourselves, coaches, counselors, advisors. We just really need to showcase our skills, showcase the impacts that we make beyond just talking about job search methodology. We have to start talking about what is a healthy career identity. What are the presenting issues when someone loses a job? Isolation, grief, trauma, distrust. Sometimes it's even more of a mood dissociation. Those are presenting issues that we are working with, whether we label it or not, but those are the presenting issues that, a client is coming in, yes, to get help finding a job, but they're also getting help to feel hopeful. They're also getting help to go, you are still that professional back home, you still have all those skills. So we need to have new types of training to help career practitioners make those linkages too, and not just focus on, I know you can do it, keep at it, because that's motivating, but it's not counseling.
Very, very important thoughts and ideas, and I hope we can build on them together in the future, Sonny.
I really hope so. But there's all these opportunities, all these bodies of knowledge that we could share with one another. So I'm really glad that you have this podcast so that we could, share this information.
You're always welcome to come back again for another episode where we can pick out one of the very important issues you shared and just really elaborate on them and share them. Thank you so much for
Yes,
your
you,
time, Sonny.
you're very welcome, Hoda, and I hope that I get to meet you one day live.
That's it for Hoda's Career Info, the program where career professionals from across the globe join me to empower you to succeed. Our guest today on Hoda's Career Info was career-focused counselor and registered psychotherapist Sonny Wong. You can connect with Sonny on LinkedIn. In this episode, Sonny defined career identity for us and shared, if we have a strong and healthy career identity during career transitions, we're able to maintain our well-being. And my question to you, how clear are you on your career identity? comment, and share your thoughts and experiences. Remember that you can watch Hoda's Career Info on YouTube or listen to the episode on your favorite podcast app. To let me know if you are interested in an opportunity to talk about your work, you can send me a direct message on my website, writecareerfit.com, where you can also sign up for my newsletter to stay up to date on the latest episodes. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow me on social media. And together, let's increase career literacy. I am your host, Hoda. Until next time, take the time to pause, reflect, and celebrate what you have achieved.